Good afternoon, fellow staff members. Thank you all for attending this meeting. I aim to utilize your time by transforming your thinking about the place of imagination and creativity in your classroom and how it can have profound positive effects on students. I hope that by detailing my personal journey of discovery about imagination and creativity and outlining the current research literature surrounding the topic, that it will encourage you to embrace ways of incorporating it into your pedagogy in order to enrich your students' learning experience. Before I start, I would like you all to close your eyes. Now imagine that you are in paradise. You are sitting on a beach chair under several tall palm trees, listening to the breeze flutter gently through their leaves. The crystal blue ocean laps gently on the warm, silken sand at your feet. You are warm, comfortable, and completely relaxed. Now, open your eyes. Does this picture match what you imagined? Please turn to the person on your left and describe how you imagine what your idea of paradise is. Was it more difficult to imagine your own paradise after seeing the image I displayed on the screen previously? Some people will have no difficulty harnessing their imagination, while others will struggle. It's easy to feed a child's imagination with pictures, words, and videos, but it is more important to provide a child with the skills and tools to pique their own imagination and fuel their creativity. What is imagination? When I first heard the term, I thought it was something that only children had the ability to harness, when they were playing or retelling stories. I had no idea that imagination alone has the power to bring questions, new thought, new ideas and possibilities to mind or clarify wonderings we have about something. It elicits freedom to ponder beyond the current realities. It provides us with the freedom to consider something new, something beyond what exists, something that could be. One of the definitions that resonates with me the most is that imagination is described as the capacity to conceive what is not. Personally, imagination is the power to free the mind, to run wild from the convention of what is, and I believe this way of thinking is so much freer in a child's mind because of their ability to make what is not real be real. For me, the magic of imagination is making dreams a reality. Another discovery I made while researching the idea of imagination is the myth that people either have one or they don't. Let me pose a question. Have you ever heard someone say, "Wow, that child has a vivid imagination," or "Don't let your imagination run away with you"? I believe that the level of expression of imagination varies greatly between individuals, but this does not mean that those who don't express themselves do not have an imagination at all. Imagination alone is the raw ability to conjure up a different reality. Simply put, if a person can dream or ask, "What if?" then he or she can imagine. Period. Lastly, one of the statements that I believe transformed my own thinking about imagination is to be truly imaginative is to run to the right when everyone else is running to the left, to defy convention and reject the comfort of conformity. I understood this to mean that imagination provides us with the opportunity for new discoveries and learning more about ourselves. With imagination there emerges hope for new possibilities, which are common themes throughout these diverse viewpoints. The more our schools focus on developing imagination, which is the enabler that challenges convention commonality in curriculum, teaching practice, and school design, the better our students will achieve. Why? Because imagination isn't a nice-to-have luxury in education. It is rather what makes education relevant, exciting, and rewarding to everyone. Well, what is creativity? Up until now, my understanding of what creativity is was very vague. I simply thought it involved starting with nothing, interpreting something that I saw or experienced, processing it, and ending up with something that was worth looking at, such as a painting, drawing, or sketch. I have since come to realize that creativity is the ability to produce ideas that are novel, original, and unexpected. and that it encompasses core ideas such as perceiving old things in new ways, making something new, evoking pleasurable surprise, or finding new connections. One of the main themes that I have discovered about creativity, which I hope to embed in my future teaching practice, is that creativity enables us to problem solve effectively. In today's society, there are more and more complex problems that require creative and innovative solutions. When people or children are creative, they can look for ways to see problems in a different light, take risks that others are afraid to take, and have the courage to defy commonality. Beyond all else, creativity is a definable, knowable, and teachable skill that is essential to 21st century learning. Another aspect of creativity in education that I discovered is that it is not thought of as a vital component to learning. This idea is corroborated by Ken Robinson, a creative expert who delivered a TED Talk challenging the way our children are being educated, emphasizing that school systems need to rethink how they are nurturing creativity. This is what he said.
So I want to talk about education, and I want to talk about creativity. My contention is that creativity now is as important in education as literacy, and we should treat it with the same status.
I strongly believe that creativity is imperative to fostering children's thought processes in all areas of their education. Now that I have outlined the importance of creativity in everyday life, the real question is, why is it pertinent to education? Creativity does not happen inside people's heads, but in the interaction between a person's thoughts and a socio-cultural context. This means that creativity is a collaboration between ideas, people, and things, making a classroom the perfect environment for this kind of thinking and doing. Secondly, the world is changing at a greater pace than ever before, and children need to learn how to cope with novel kinds of tasks and situations. Learning in this era must be lifelong, and students constantly need to think in new creative ways. The relationship between creativity and education is more than just encouraging personal development and self-actualization in children. It is essential for equipping children with the basic capacity for future life. But how can the creative potential of children's thinking be harnessed and nurtured effectively? Fortunately, teachers, like yourselves, are in an excellent position to encourage or discourage creativity in the classroom through acceptance of the imaginative and unusual. You need to realize that creativity is the freest form of self-expression. For children, there is nothing more fulfilling and satisfying than being able to express themselves openly and without judgment. Their ability to be creative or to create something from personal feelings and experiences can enhance a child's emotional well-being. Teaching for creativity involves the passing of the control to the learner and encouraging innovative contributions. Innovation will follow when teachers encourage children to pose questions, be a co-participant in learning, offering them the opportunity to debate and discuss their thinking, and identify problems and issues. This creative learning experience will result in creative learners and ultimately creative individuals. In order for educators of today to provide a supportive and safe environment for children to develop their creative abilities, inventive and effective teaching by the creative educator and creative learning by the active learner need to be a seamless interaction. This resonant process of creative pedagogy can be seen in the diagram on the screen. Providing children with an environment that fosters creativity, paired with allowing children time to develop their thoughts, unpunished risk-taking, modeled creativity, and unstructured play are other just as effective processes for developing creative thought and inspiring creative action. Overall, I hope that in today's society, imagination and creativity can be seen not as an obstacle to reason, nor merely a valuable and distinct capacity, but rather an integral element of all thinking. I say this because I believe if children are scaffolded to use their imagination and creativity in everyday life, they can eventually be molded into creative thinkers and innovators of the future. Thank you for listening.